Breaking news, Raider Nation, it is official. Pete Carroll is going to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. The deal is done, and this time it's actually done. So it's not a agreement over the phone. They actually have announced it. Pete Carroll is going to be the head coach moving forward for the Las Vegas Raiders. So we solidified the GM position with John Spytek. That was a great hire. Guy has a ton of experience and looking forward to good things from him. Also, really looking forward to good things from him because he likes to draft character guys, not just guys who have the fastest 40 or can bench press the most weight, but he wants guys who have production on the field and are high character. Something the Raiders have struggled with in drafting over the past several years with John Gruden and even the McDaniels era. So that should get cleaned up, and that's going to give a good roster for our new head coach, the Super Bowl winner, the future Hall of Fame coach, Pete Carroll is coming to the Raiders, and now the AFC West will be coached by four of the best coaches in the NFL. The AFC West is going to continue to be the most dominant division in football for the foreseeable future. Now, I understand that Pete Carroll is going to be 74 years old, but you also have to understand that Pete Carroll has taken very good care of himself, had a very good physical regiment, and he is still sharp as a tack. So hopefully we can get a good 3 or 4 year run with him, make some playoff runs, maybe even win a Super Bowl. That would be fantastic. If you guys are happy about Pete Carroll, drop a comment down below and let me know that you are excited for Pete Carroll, a Hall of Fame coach, coming to the Raiders. Now, we're also going to talk about a few other things in this video, so you're going to want to stay tuned. But before we do that, I want you to do me a solid favor right now. I want you to smash that like button, because I have noticed that we get tens of thousands of views on this channel, but we only get like 1,000 likes on the channel. It really helps us to get this out, so if you do appreciate the content, smash that like button. And if you have not already, make sure that you are subscribed so that you get breaking news like this, because we are a daily podcast dedicated to the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, let's talk about a few things that Pete Carroll is going to bring to the Raiders. Number one is going to be credibility in that locker room. Everybody that is, all the players, all the coaching staff, when they look at Pete Carroll, they're going to look at a winner. When they look at Pete Carroll, they're going to look at a leader of men. One thing about him is he is a great coach, but he is a player's coach, but he's also a disciplined coach. So with the Seattle Seahawks, they played very, very disciplined football. Even though the players loved him, he will get on their butts if they are not doing the right thing. If they are off script and they're not running their plays the way that they're supposed to do it, or they're not practicing hard, believe me, Pete Carroll's going to get in their butt, and he's going to let them know it, that they've got to pick up their game. So the discipline issue that we've seen in 2024 with the Las Vegas Raiders, that should absolutely get cleaned up with Pete Carroll. One of the other things is, the defense should only get better because he is a defensive-minded coach. So if we lose Patrick Graham, that's fine. We have a head coach that can instill a fantastic defense. Now, Robbie Leonard is also rumored to take over as defensive coach or defensive coordinator if Patrick Graham actually does leave the Raiders and does not come back. Robbie Leonard is a rising star in the defensive circles. He has been a fantastic line coach for the Raiders this past season and worked miracles with the group that he had despite all of the injuries. So that's another plus and positive of Pete Carroll, is he will be able to mentor the young Robbie Leonard, who is an up-and-coming defensive coordinator style coach. And that would just help the Raiders to have an even better defense moving forward. Hopefully we don't have all the injuries. I mean, this is the worst injury season we ever seen in my time of watching football, which is over 35 years, 40 years now, I guess. I don't know. I'm getting old. I'm almost 50. Let's get into some of the other things that Pete Carroll is going to bring to the Raiders, and that is stability. You don't go and hire Pete Carroll and then fire him next week. That's just not what you do. You're going to hire Pete Carroll, you're going to give him a very solid 3 or 4 years to build out this team, build the culture. And that's going to be great for the Raiders. Super excited about that and cannot wait to see over the next 3 or 4 years what Pete Carroll is able to establish with this team. Now let's talk about the personnel that Pete Carroll has to work with on this team right now. One of them is the quarterback situation, and we got to get that figured out. Is it going to be Aiden O'Connell? Well, one thing about Pete Carroll is he is really good at developing young talent. So he might be able to do some really wonderful things with Aiden O'Connell. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. Maybe he looks at Aiden O'Connell and says, we need to upgrade a little bit. And there is a guy that is rising up in the charts, and his name is Jackson Dart. In fact, some NFL scouts even have him ahead of Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, even though both of them have better statistics than Jackson Dart. But one thing about Jackson Dart is there's a lot of comparisons of Jackson Dart to Jaden Daniels. Now, I don't think that those comparisons are really accurate, in my opinion. I think Jaden Daniels is way above Jackson Dart, but his play style is very similar to Jaden Daniels, and that's very intriguing. Listen, he put up over 4,000 yards. He put up like 26 or 27 touchdowns, and I understand that Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders both put up more, and they also had a higher completion percentage than Jackson Dart. But Jackson Dart brings you something that Shedeur Sanders doesn't, and that is raw athleticism. He can run. He put up over almost 500 yards on the ground and several touchdowns. And so, in my opinion, he's kind of a Justin Herbert, maybe a Josh Allen type of guy. We'll have to see how he's going to do in the NFL to see just how he pans out. But the Raiders could do a curveball at pick number 6. If Cam Ward's off the board, if Shedeur Sanders is off the board, they might go and draft Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart could be drafted at pick number 6 to the Las Vegas Raiders. And I do believe with his athleticism and his statistics are very similar to Aiden O'Connell, just the fact that he's much more athletic than Aiden O'Connell and has very similar statistics college-wise, I think that's an upgrade. Let me know if you agree down in the comments below. Guys, if you haven't done it already and you're trying to get a college degree, you need to check out Southern New Hampshire University, the sponsor of this channel, because there's no reason for you to go to a brick and mortar school and pay tens of thousands of dollars more if you're intending to work from home on your computer, maybe on your lunch break at work. You can get the exact same accredited degree, and they have just amazing amounts of degrees over there that are available. Everything from accounting to nursing. I mean, you name it, they have a whole plethora of college degrees, all fully accredited. Go check them out. It is the first link down in the description below. Thank you, Southern New Hampshire, for being a sponsor of this video. Let's talk about free agency here. Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, there's a lot of rumors right now that there is some interest with the Las Vegas Raiders, and with Pete Carroll now becoming the head coach, you could see Sam Darnold coming to the Raiders, because one thing Sam Darnold doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to go to a horrible team with a horrible coach. But having Pete Carroll as the head coach is an incentive for Sam Darnold to come. And he played very well other than his last 2 games, the last game of the season and his playoff game. Didn't play so well, got sacked a lot. But there are rumors that the Raiders may offer him $100 million for a 3-year contract. I know that's a lot of money. It's $33 million. That is a third of our cap space right now. But if the Raiders are going to compete in this division, you have to give Pete Carroll a steady quarterback to work with. Sam Darnold could certainly fit that bill. If you agree, drop a comment down below. And if you disagree, drop a comment down below and let me know how you feel if the Raiders were to go out and get Sam Darnold. Are you for it or are you against it? There's another free agent that I do want to talk about, and his name is the one and only Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is an unrestricted free agent, and he has not indicated that he wants to go back to LA for another year. He said he's going to take some time to think about his career and where to go next with it. And I think it would be fantastic to bring Khalil Mack back on at least a 1, maybe a 2-year deal. Let him retire as a Raider, as he should. He never should have been traded in his prime the way that he was by John Gruden, and then John Gruden just completely whiffed all of the draft picks that we got, and none of them panned out. Only one Pro Bowler, and that was Josh Jacobs, who is no longer with the team either. So if you would like to see the return of the Mack, Khalil Mack, to the Raiders to retire as a Raider, please drop a Mack attack down in the comments below and let me know how you feel about that. Listen, I know last year he only had 6 sacks. The year before he had 17. So he had a pretty steady, steep decline in production. But he did play 16 straight games and he was effective. He was putting pressure. He was getting tackles. He was defending passes. He was still a very effective guy. And if you look at what Von Miller's still doing in the NFL, I think there is still 1 or 2 years left in Khalil Mack. What you could do by bringing in Khalil Mack, if you bring in Malcolm Koonce back on another 1 or 2 year deal, along with Chason, you now have a lot of options there. You have a lot of depth at defensive end. And presuming that we don't trade Max Crosby, we have a really great deep defensive end class for 2025 for Pete Carroll to, redo the Legion of Boom with the Raiders. Call it the Legion of Doom, because the Raiders are going to bring doom to every single team that we play this year with Pete Carroll as the head coach. I do believe that we're not going to go winning 4 games this season. I think the Raiders under Pete Carroll, first year, should at the very least make a run for a wild card. Hopefully even better than that. Let me know how you guys feel about the news of Pete Carroll down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next Raiders video.